Yeah, basically, we're going to read on the topic of affliction. Because knowing the precepts as servants of the Most High is one, but to apply the precepts is another. Once again, knowing the precepts is one thing, but applying them is another. Application. Basically, of recent, through the Spirit of the Most High, was uttering that affliction is like natural fertilizer, and indeed affliction fertilizes the minds of the elect. House of David is being built up at this present moment. Therefore, affliction, struggles, pain, persecution from the persecutors, all these things are necessary, contributing to the building up of the house of David. Alright, now this is the book of Acts 14 and verse 22. Acts 14 verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of God. Once again, affliction fertilizes the minds of the future judges of Israel. The judges are being instructed at this moment in time, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of God. So basically, we have to know that there is tribulation, and the tribulation is a must. So basically, affliction can come your way and you run out from the fire, because basically the fire is a friend. Adversity is a friend. Adversity builds champions. So, once again, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Ecclesiasticus 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve YAHAWASHI, prepare thy soul for temptation. My son, if thou come to serve YAHAWASHI, prepare thy soul for temptation. So we have to know what we are getting involved in before we get involved. You have to understand first before you make a step. It's based on understanding, and it's based on the mercy of the Most High through his only begotten Son, Yahawashi. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. It says right here, constantly. It doesn't say only there and here, endure. It says constantly endure. Key words, constantly endure. And make not haste in the time of trouble, which is basically exercising patience, because patience is key. It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayst be increased at thy last end, because ultimately the elect will be increased. The elect will receive crowns of life. Alright? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Keyword, whatsoever, which means anything. Anything, literally anything. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. basically within the highways, byways, this is considered as a low estate. The worlds that were created by the Most High through His only begotten Son, we understand through faith that those were built, alright, but knowing that it gives the elect faith in knowing that the Most High is in control of everything. All things were created by YAHAWASHI, and by Him all things consist. Therefore, the tribulation, the affliction is based on the will of the Most High through His only begotten Son, because them control everything. So there is no need to worry, there is no need to fret. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. The world views this as being a low estate, but in all actuality, this is a high state. This is the highest state of man, to serve the Most High and keep His commandments. That is the whole beauty of a man. So really, this is not a low estate. It's a low estate viewed by people within ignorance, but people within wisdom, knowledge and understanding know that this is a high state. As a called member, that's why we try to give diligence to make our calling and election sure, based on the will of the Most High. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Because the more you go through tests, and the more you get confidence. Because whenever accusation come up, whenever things come up, and you right through basically, and the Most High help you through certain things, you use those things as markers, motivation to continue within. Because the seeds of the Most High help you through tribulation, through all things. It's based on understanding of the Holy Spirit. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So in the furnace of adversity, the Most High Himself put the elect members within the furnace of adversity. A matter of fact, you can get that from the book of Isaiah 48. Isaiah 48 and verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. So the Most High Himself, YAHAWAH themselves, have chosen the elect in the furnace of affliction. These are basic precepts. Basic precepts to basically set you as a member with faith. Because you read already about these things. So when the things that manifest, you're supposed to hold solid ground by the will of the Most High, if the Most High wills that. Because this is based on the mercy of the Most High, not by itself or ourselves, but based on the mercy of the Most High. Patience. Is it? Hey, sometimes